Welcome back once again to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, Litecoin Leader. Today's coin that we're going to cover for ALTCOINopoly, subscriber-only coin, tells you just how small of a crypto community it really is. The creator of this coin also created another coin that can be considered a sister coin or the precursor to this coin. There have been improvements, but at its core, it's still basically the same algorithm that runs this coin. So who am I talking about? What coin am I talking about? And how is it related to a coin with a lot of controversy? We'll talk about that coming right up. Okay, as we always do, we start with a refresher of the ALTCOINopoly board, and we are talking about an area of the board at the top of the board called Zone 3. Zone 3 is an area that talks about platforms or coins that have their own blockchain that can be built upon, can do a lot of different things. A lot of different projects can be built upon them because they own the entire blockchain. So it gives you exposure to a lot of different projects, all by being involved in one project. So while we talked about a different project that was adjacent to this piece, we're going to talk about a sister coin, which is Stellar Lumens, or XLM. XLM is basically a second generation by the developer who started a different coin that has some controversy, and I'll let you figure out which coin that is, because I don't want to tell you about what every coin in every video is. But XLM has a lot of interesting things going for it, and it's an independent, decentralized project that has exposure to many different developments that are going on right now that are worth discussing. I just want to point out that you definitely want to write down where this particular coin goes on the board. Remember, you have to jot all of them down to play the entire game, so you have all your spaces laid out so you can win the grand prize when we start the contest in August for the drawing. So be sure to write down this piece and all the other pieces in the right spot. But let's talk about why XLM is worth a space on the board. Well, as usual, Coin Bureau and Guy has one of the top videos for talking about Stellar Lumens and XLM. I found this video from December. Guy went through a lot of the interesting things about Stellar Lumens, both from a historical perspective all the way until December of 2020. I won't recap the entire video, but I'll hit on some highlights. But I highly encourage you to go watch this one if you are interested in XLM at all. He covers a lot of the good points. He talks about the foundation of it, the fact that XLM was founded by the Stellar Development Foundation, and compares XLM to Ripple. Again, Jed McCaleb is involved with both projects. Jed left Ripple under some duress or controversy with XRP and Ripple, founded XLM, kept a lot of Ripple coins, XRP coins, but it's basically the same protocol. And he goes over some of the differences between the two, but Ripple's is its own, but a lot of the coins are owned by the central group of Ripple, whilst XLM is owned 95% by the public. And there is a different inflationary rate, there's different tokenomics of it, but XLM is an open ledger versus an XRP centralized ledger. So there's a lot of comparisons here. But they started to get more and more aligned over the last couple of years when a woman named Danelle Dixon was put in charge of Stellar Lumens, which also created some controversy. They got further and further in bed with central banks and financial tech and started to align more and more of the XLM protocol changes towards working with stable coins and also with central banking. And that is, it kind of goes against the idea of cryptocurrency in general about being decentralized and against banking. So again, it's a similar path as to what XRP did. So I'm actually very aligned with Guy's actual result and his opinion of this coin, in that he likes it for the short term, but he's not sure about it for the long term. We're going to see Stellar Lumens aligning with a lot of central banks across the globe, and they've been linked to a lot of the World Economic Forum and Visa and stable coins like USDC, which is leading to a lot of interesting partnerships that could lead to a lot of incorporation of Stellar Lumens in the global economy. That's a short-term positive. The long-term negative is that I'm not sure that's where we want to head as a global financial society, which is part of the reason that cryptocurrency is out there. We don't want centralization. We don't want world economic forums. We don't want a one world currency. So with those concerns, I share Guide's outlook that long-term questions, short terms, I can see that there's a lot of positive for XLM. Not financial advice, but there's a lot of reasons to like XLM in the short term. Another thing I wanted to point out is a partnership that XLM struck with IBM a couple years ago, starting in 2018, where stablecoins and XLM, they formed a partnership with IBM. So IBM struck a deal with XLM back in 2018. They've worked on that partnership since then. XLM also recently pointed out that they're starting to do NFTs, which is a hot button. And that was an article that was just released just a month ago. So what's the connection here? Well, one of the things that NFTs can possibly be used for is for documentation of intellectual property or patents. What company has the most patents in the world? IBM is number one. So do not be surprised if IBM works with Stellar to create patent NFTs that's placed on the Stellar blockchain. So look out for that as a future possibility. That people are still looking for, like, NFTs. Like, you have digital artwork, you have music, you have concert tickets, you have all these different things that are non-fungible, that are unique things that you can put on the blockchain that create value. Real estate deeds could be one. But patents is a new concept that's coming onto the scene that makes a lot of sense. You can put intellectual property on the blockchain, preserve it forever, and then as long as you could license it that way. So IBM could really make a profit with Stellar Lumens in this avenue. This next story is a little bit into the woo-woo side, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it really fits the dynamic that we should touch on everything when we talk about Stellar Lumens. Now, there's been a story that's been out there for over 30 years now about The Economist magazine that came out in 1988. And the cover of The Economist magazine had this image of a phoenix rising from the ashes of a currency. Let's see if I can zoom in. I don't know, James. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So, there's the image. There's the cover. And you can see there's a pile of dollars and yen and won all throughout this, and it says, get ready for world currency. This is from 1988. The symbol and the numbers on this have been interestingly looked at for a while. And this particular logo has been looked at and said, where have we seen this before? There's the image of Stellar. So this image right here of Stellar looks similar, in many people's opinion, to this symbol here. Is it an exact match? No. But there's a lot of people that have associated this cover with, they narrowed it down to a couple different coins. I'll mention a few others later on when I talk about other coins, but this is one of three possibilities in my mind that the coin could be. Now, it could be none of them, but this is a coin that's out there, and we talk about a one world currency. Think about some of the issues and some of the topics I've just talked about. The World Economic Forum, one world currency, central banking, Stellar Lumens working with all these different entities, and Visa with using the USDC coin on the Stellar Lumens blockchain. There is a possibility that this could be predictive programming. Just an idea. I just wanted to put it out there. Now, obviously, this is not a factual piece of information, but the facts here that we can look at is that this cover of the magazine did happen. They spoke of a world currency back then, and sometimes they put out concepts and ideas in the world and use predictive programming to get people ready for what is to come. There has been talk about a world currency for quite a while now, and the breadcrumbs are there to lead a path for Stellar Lumens towards being involved in a one world currency. So we're going to look at two charts like usual. We're going to look at XLM versus US dollar and XLM versus Bitcoin. XLM versus the US dollar, it's in a channel. It's in a parallel channel. It's been bouncing since January, up and down in this channel, about 30 cents tall. It's gone from 14 cents up to around the 30s, then it came back down, then it went all the way up to like 50s, came down to the 30s again, 65, 45, 72, now it's about 60 again. So they see it's 65 is the current price. But it's trending towards 80, and the all-time high, I believe, is not quite $1. So when it breaks above $1, and based on this chart right now, you're looking at about July to August time frame, if this is trending right, you'll get to 90 cents will be an all-time high. I know that for sure. So when it gets there, then all bets are off. Because now we're in uncharted waters and we're in price discovery. So when that happens, price discovery means that we've never been here before. There's never been anyone that's been here, that's been at this price, so everyone is in profit. So there's no real reason to sell. So as long as there's more and more upside, there's going to be more and more buyers, and the price will continue to go up. That's usually what price discovery happens. Until everybody gets to a point where like, oh, I made a lot of profit, let me cash out some. So we'll have a little bit of pullback, but we need to discover what that point is because we've never been there before. So if I zoom out into let's look at the weekly. Yeah, it's not quite on this chart because Bitfinex didn't quite go as far back. But if I go, it only goes back to May of 2019. If I change it to say, let's see how far Bitstamp goes back. Nope, not as far. Hit BTC goes back pretty far, but still not as far back as the Bitcoin chart. So if you look at the Bitcoin chart, and this goes all the way back, it goes back to May of 2018. You could see against Bitcoin on a weekly chart, the all-time high was 5,000 sats, give or take. Today we're at 1,315. So we've got a room for about a 4x, and at 4x at the current 65-cent price, that's $2.60. So there's a lot of room to run for XLM to go up. And as we talked about in the news segment, there's a lot of reasons to think that this could go up quickly. I see the threshold here is going to be around 1,600, 1,700 sats. Once it breaks through that, it'll run to 2,000 and start to get up to like 2,200. So that's nearly a double spot from here. And if it breaks, if it gets that kind of momentum with that, if it gets to 2,200 sats, it will be an all-time US dollar high. And at that point, all bets are pretty much off because now you're back into early days of 2019, and this thing could just run. So I'm not saying that it's a good buy. I'm not saying that it's going to go to these prices. Not financial advice. I'm just saying what the charts are telling me. And the charts are telling me that this is trending in the right direction. Just in recent events, going from 600-700 sats to 1,200, it's basically doubled in the last few months. That was in March. Here we are in May. So in the last 6 to 8 weeks, it's gone on a nice double run. So keep that in mind as you look at the charts, look at the XLM and what the use case is and what the upside is, especially when we're talking about the IBM and NFT and patents, in addition to the incorporation of being used in the financial sector.
So there's today's coin, Stellar Lumens, Stellar or XLM, closely related to another coin, XRP, both created by Jed McCaleb. There's some controversy about how he left the Ripple and XRP group, and also about Ripple and XRP in general. But the one thing that's true about a couple things that are true. First off, they use the same algorithm. They're very similar. They're basically sister coins. That's because of Jed basically just copied over the algorithm and started it anew. But there's no Ripple type government agency. This is much more cleaner version of Ripple. There's no central government. It's truly decentralized, and it's capped in a nice market cap structure. So Stellar Lumens is looked a lot as by a lot of people as the potential currency of the future. I hinted earlier about there's a lot of intuitives that look at both these coins. The XLM is associated with the cover of The Economist from 1988 as the potential Phoenix coin that comes out of the ashes and it becomes the universal coin that's used across the globe. Whether that's Stellar Lumens or not, it could be. But at the very least, this is a good coin to have in your portfolio, not financial advice. But It's a good coin to have in your portfolio because it represents a lot of different coins, a lot of different possibilities. It has a lot of upside. It's below $1. It's relatively cheap. It's heading towards $1. It could be over $1 by the time this video was released, but it's heading the right trajectory. It has limited downside with a lot of upside, and it's the second generation of XRP, which has more controversy, and this one doesn't really have it. So lots of reasons to like this coin, lots of reasons to think about it. Payments, the partnership with IBM, the NFTs, the patents, all these good reasons to be getting some exposure to Stellar in your portfolio. So with that said, I'm gonna close the drawer on the bureau, and I'll see you next time.